Hello everyone. So today we're going to do something new. I have just discovered video tags and I enjoy them very much. So I have just done my first one in Italian and I'm going to do my first one in English. And I have taken this from Charly Cheer. You can feel free to do it yourself. So first question is, where was your first plane ride to? Okay, my first plane ride, I can remember it quite well. I was about 5 years old. I'm not sure if 4 or 5. And I was heading to Tunisia with my family. I had a blast flying. I discovered that I could see the world from high above, and I could fly between clouds and in the air, and it was really fun. And since then I have always loved flying, and it's something that really gave me a lot of things to think of. So where have you traveled to that you would love to visit again? Wow, a lot of places. But I always tend to choose brand new locations and destinations from my trips, because I really, for as much as I would love to go back to certain places, I really feel that there's something that I'm missing, and so I tend to not to go back, but sometimes I do. So the first place I would love to go back to is Mexico, because I have felt in love with that, and with the place, with the culture, with people. I have a few friends there I will really love to see again. The second one, I guess it's Cuba. As you can tell, I am passionate about Latin America, and Cuba is for the same reasons. I have very good friends there. I am missing very much, and despite this is the last trip I have made so far, I would come back there tomorrow. And the culture was amazing. I really felt at home there. India, yeah, it's one of the fewest places I went back to, so I went there twice, and I would really love to go back there too. Barcelona is one of the places I have been living in, and I went back there a lot of times, but it's been a while now, so I would love to go back there too. A lot of places, because I loved almost all the trips I have made, so South Africa and United States too. In the United States, I think the first place I would go back to is Florida, because I really loved it, and then Washington DC and Boston and New York too. But I probably would just go back to United States, but try to visit new places I have never been to. What are 3 of your must-have travel items? Wow, that's hard. No, I think clothes and underwear overall. That's something you cannot go without. Maybe my toothbrush. I don't know. Medicines, of course. I would be very nervous if I would forget medicines. So yeah, I think I would say underwear and clothes first, and medicines and my medical supplies second, and a travel diary or a notebook to write, of course, as a third thing. If I could add a fourth, it would be books. Yeah. What place is in your places to visit next list? There are a lot of places to visit next, and there's a long list of that. I have answered to this question also in the tag in Italian, which was a little bit different, but I forgot Brazil. definitely is one of the first places in my list. So, randomly thinking, Canada, Brazil, United States, Greece, Turkey, Australia. If I dare to make this long flight, yeah, and of course, if I would think more, I would continue to list you places and places, and of course, all the places you can think of in Central and South America. So let's say Latin America. I just want to see them all. And oh yeah, in my list, underlined 3 times, there's Cuba again. And because I have made just the half of the island because it was too much, we would have had to rush to see it all. So yeah, the other half of Cuba, and the other half of Mexico. Yeah. Do you have an interesting I'm lost story? Yeah, of course, every traveler at least has not one, not two, not three. We have a lot. The only one I can remember right now, and it was, I think, in France when I was a little child, and we were walking, my parents and I, on the seaside. And there were a lot of people there, and there were a lot of street artists too. And I guess I wasn't walking, I was with my little bicycle, and suddenly I just realized that I couldn't see my parents anymore, so I basically panicked. And I started crying, and I stopped a lady, I think, asking where's my mom. And yeah, at the end everything went good. My parents were just near, and they found me in a few minutes, and everything was okay. But I really can't remember. I was so scared and desperate and sad, and I wanted to find my mom and stuff like that. Where would you travel to just to eat the food? Okay, I have the answer, but before I tell you, I want to say that this is not nice. Like, this is not politically correct. I think that every place in the world is worth a trip. Every place in the world is worth traveling to see it, to visit it, and not just for a dine or a lunch there. I think that even if you don't know anything about this place, or even if you're not so interested in studying its culture, or if you have never been passionate about that, it's worth a trip. So my place would be Japan, because I am in love with Japanese food. I have just eaten it today for lunch. I basically need to eat it once a week. I adore, and when I say adore, I mean adore sushi. So I would like to go there to try and taste the real one. And I have never been a Japanese stuff freak, so I have never been passionate about mangas or cartoons or whatever, and not even of the classical Japanese culture. I know a lot. I know something from meditation and this sort of stuff. So of course I would like to go there and eat, and that's the basic thing I would like to do there. But if I would go just to eat, I would feel that I'm losing a lot, because of course Japan is a great country, and they have a very deep and interesting culture, so, and art and everything. So I would also love to know about that. Is there a place you would never visit again? might have had a bad experience there, but I think that you shouldn't stick on bad experiences, because if you met a bad person or if you had a bad experience, it doesn't mean that this place is a bad place. So I had a very, very bad experience during my trip in Egypt, and this experience is completely not related to the place or to the culture or to the people there. It's something that would have happened anyway and anywhere, but it just makes it a little difficult for me to think about this place and going there without being nervous and without thinking about that thing. So but I think that I will totally visit it again in a long time. I just have to wait, and I also want to visit it again because the only thing I can remember about that experience is the bad thing that happened, and I kind of canceled from my mind everything else, all the good experiences and trips we have made there. If you could take one person only to travel with you, who would that be? Of course, my brother. He's someone I really love, and we get along really well, and we are accustomed to travel together since we were kids, and we know how the other does. Now that we are grown up, we have different styles of traveling, but yeah, I think it will be my brother. Where would you travel just for the weather? All the places I can think of where I love the weather, I also love the place, so it wouldn't be just for the weather. But I think that my answer would be all those places which are very, very much touristic and very much popular, and where there are a lot of hotels and the beach, bars and stuff, and where people party all the time. But there are some who are really worth it, I think, for the landscape, even though I don't like those destinations, because for what you can find there in terms of things to do when people window, aisle, or middle seat. Totally sure for window all my life. I always ask for a window when I go on a plane, and if I can get the window, I just ask the person who's there if they mind to switch. And I have obtained my window seat a lot. Yeah, so window. Oh, I love to see what happens to, you cannot just be inside a corridor all the time, and you need to see the sky, and when you can see earth, and you can see cities and maybe cars from high above. It's wonderful, as I said before, so it teaches you a lot, so I really love it. So window. How do you pass the time on the airplane? I remember with a little bit of a nostalgic mood when I was a child, and I was provided with games and stuff, but I bring with me books and I try to read, but it's not so likely that I can do that. I also bring with me my travel diary and notepad. If I'm flying back from a trip, it's very likely that I'm writing my last pages of my diary because I'm late. But the thing I am doing more is talking. If I'm nervous, I am talking even more. So I am basically talking or trying to talk with my fellow travelers, and I sometimes bother them when they just would love to sleep. So those were the questions. I will write them down so you can do the same video, and please remember to let me know. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.